Call me to order and call Councilor Jennings to lead us to pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call roll.
Councilor Brown.
Here.
Councilor Jennings.
here.
Councilor Broughton.
Here.
Councilor Watson.
Here.
Councilor Barton.
Here.
Mayor Loveless.
Here.
We have a quorum to do business.
Approval of the January 25th regular meeting minutes.
Mayor, I offer a motion to approve the minutes of January 25th meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Watson, a second by Councilor Barton to approve the January 25th, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Councilor Jennings?
Yes.
Councilor Broughton?
Yes.
Councilor Watson?
Yes.
Councilor Barton?
Yes.
The minutes for January 25th, 2021 are approved.
Under new business, the first item, we asked Will Ruzic with Provalus to give us an update on how things are going, so I'll turn the floor over to Will Ruzic.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Certainly appreciate the time and honor to come up and kind of give you a little bit of an update. And in the interest of good partnerships, we think this is something we should do, fairly regular and try to remain as transparent as we possibly can. So I will certainly be respectful of your time as I see a full agenda here, but I'm going to run through, a little bit of information. We will talk kind of where we are, where we came through in 2020, where we are in 2021. But first, I wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse as to what our clients see when we go out and talk to them, because as you well know, we don't just sell Provalus. We sell the community. We took to heart, locating in this community, and as partners, we work together in creating these jobs. So this gives you, kind of a little bit of a glimpse on just who we are. I won't read all that, but that is really about creating new opportunities in rural America. Just some of the advantages we have as we go out into the market here. We're competing certainly with the overseas workplace and other companies across the country, so we have to create our own advantages, and that's this is a listing of some of the things we go and sell in the market. And then on the right hand side are some of the things we do. We get asked quite often what it is we do down there. So you can see application development, mobile development, QA on the technical side, data services, QA on the user side. We do a lot of support work, business intelligence, and then down there at the very bottom you see SOC and NOC. That's security operations centers, that's network operation centers. And I will tell you right now, that is driving a lot of the market. Lots of folks are interested in managing their security side as well as managing the network side. And then this is where our opportunity lies. $481 billion a year going offshore. So our goal is to intercept that. We want to bring that money. We want to reshore those jobs so we can keep as much of that money at home as possible. And not only do we want to keep that money at home, we want to put it in places where we feel like we can have real impact. That's why we chose rural America. We think we can make a difference in rural America, and that's why we look for the unique communities we're located in. If y'all will recall, as we were on the, recruiting this company, and we worked through all of the impact studies, and we started looking at just what 300 new jobs where we're bringing outside money into our community and what kind of impact that could have. And those 300 new jobs are spending money in the community, which means that the city's revenues are going up. So we have increased city services, and that equates to a multi-million-dollar, over the years, it was tens of millions of dollars in annual impact. We also put a lot of focus on our people. This is some of the areas we've put a lot of emphasis on over the last couple of years: the growth, the compensation, the value, recognition, transparency. We are getting buy-in from all of the employees. We're being very transparent with where we are in our growth process. And then leadership and helping develop leaders from within our own organization. Up there on the top right-hand corner, you see glass door. That is something we've really put a lot of emphasis in the last year or so. 1 year ago, that rating was 2.2, and that's out of a 5 there. Glassdoor, if you don't know, is really a rating agency. You know, it's a public rating agency for employers. If an employee is looking at coming to work for you, they'll get on the internet, and Glassdoor is one of the resources they'll use to determine if you're a valuable workplace. And so as a 2.2, that was pretty disappointing. So we've put a lot of emphasis on getting that rating up. So to get it to a 4.3 in less than a year, we're pretty excited about that. And the training and education on the employee side, you know, this is really the heart of what we do. You know, bringing rural folks who've never been in the IT world into the IT space takes significant training. So we put a lot of emphasis on the training and education, and the education is really ongoing. You know, we provide all of the tools once they come on board. You know, it is an ongoing training process. We're creating careers, and to create careers, we've got to make sure that you're continuing your education through that. A little bit about our work pool here. You know, we certainly put a lot of emphasis on diversity. This kind of gives you an idea of an overlay of some of the employees. Couple key points up there: 80% local in the candidate pool, and that's across all 3 centers. We're finding that number. That's important to us, and I know that's important to you. You know, we're quickly coming up on 300 people, whether that's a year from now or two years from now. But if we can keep 80% of those folks here local, that's a significant number. And then up in the top right-hand corner, our veteran population. This is something we are continuing to put lots and lots of emphasis on. We're up to 18% veterans across our company, and we're trying to get that number to 25%. And this is lots of retirees coming out of the military and transitioning into the civil workforce. So we're excited about those folks. They come with, you know, a tremendous experience, tremendous work ethic. And if you see that seal right there in the middle of the page, that's about a 2-year process. That's not just something we added on there. We got that seal from the military. So we were really excited to receive that. Very few companies across the country have that, but that opens some doors on these military bases. It lets them know that we have their best interests at heart when they come to work for us. And then our focus on communities, certainly something that we put lots of emphasis on, and we will continue to do that as our communities are at the heart of what we do. But this gives you an idea of some of the things we're doing, making sure we keep communication open with community leaders, getting our site leadership involved at the local level, and then engaging with military leaders across the region. Volunteering, a couple of big volunteering events this year, sponsoring the Backpack Buddies. Not sure how many of you are familiar with that program, but it came to us when we started meeting with teachers in the school. We started wanting to identify ways we could continue that partnership, and we started addressing issues, and over child hunger kept coming up. And it really caught us off guard, because it wasn't something that we were really aware of inside our community, just how many children go home hungry. And that's when we located Backpack Buddies. Backpack Buddies discreetly provides food into the backpacks of kids across all of our schools in our region. And we thought that that was just a tremendous mission. The teachers will tell you what a difference it makes when the kids know they're getting food that day. They will show up that day. They come with an attention span because they're not hungry. And we said that's a mission we want to get by, because no child should be hungry. So we've actually started a monthly Backpack Buddies sponsorship program that we're going to continually sponsor that program. Drexel and Honeybees, as y'all know, that's been something we've sponsored since we've come into this community, and we all know that mission there and what that means, and you just can't say enough about them, and we certainly can't do enough for them. Some events we did over this last year: we had a Habitat for Humanity Day. We actually had a day that we called Provide, where we brought all of our leadership across all of our facilities out of our corporate. We brought our sales team. How many folks did we have, John? 15 to 20 in the community, and we did nothing but give back for a day. And so we worked part of that day with Habitat for Humanity. We spent some time over at the Fisher Center. We did do some backpack buddies. We were over at Drexel and Honeybees. We were at the YMCA reading to the daycare. We divided and went out in the community and just spent time supporting the community, and we're going to do that continually. We just packed up over 400 cards for our veterans and sent those off to the military. So a little bit about facilities. We take our facilities to heart. This is much more than just a building. As you well know, the process we went through to get to the point where we were all comfortable with these buildings is because it is so much of what we do, and certainly here in Brewton, this will be our flagship. This is a building like no other. This is where we will bring clients. This is where we will show folks off. This is bringing the CEOs of these Fortune 500 and 1,000 companies into this community, because this is where we show them that we're real. We locate in the heart of the community on purpose. If y'all remember, we rotated out of certain different models we were looking at, but the idea was we wanted to be in downtown because we feel like that's where we can make a difference. We've all seen downtown and the life just kind of disappear out there, and we thought, what would happen if we could put 200 or 300 or 400 people downtown? Revitalization, something old is new again. So taking these stagnant buildings and making them something state-of-the-art, bringing new life into it, being transformative, certainly important for us. The idea is to put the folks down there. We can't bring retail, but we can bring the people that would support the retail. So if we can put all those folks inside the downtown area, what other services have to come? What other additional investments have to come down there to help support those services? Is that coffee shop, sandwiches, the restaurants? That's what we want to be for the downtown area and bring life back into the downtown. The wow factor is extremely important for us, because when you bring folks out of these bigger cities and these CEOs into the community, they come with fairly low expectations. They're skeptical that anybody can perform these IT services in these rural areas, and so they come with fairly low expectations. But when they can walk into the state-of-the-art building we're going to build, then they have that wow factor, and all of a sudden their mindset has changed from the beginning, and they start seeing things in a different light. So that's why we put the emphasis we put in our buildings, because it becomes an integral part of who we are. Most of you have driven down there, so you've seen this progress, but this is something I shared with our folks just last week, kind of bringing them up to speed on where we are, and just, that 3D model down there at the bottom just gives you an idea of the footprint that we're going to have down there. And if you haven't driven by it, it's amazing just how high that building turned out. 55,000 square feet downtown. Old construction, new construction. This is a little unique. We're taking existing and bringing it in with new. I've got up there August, September completion. We're getting word that it could possibly be a little bit sooner, which is amazing. But we should be able to house up to 400 people down there. And then I had somebody stop by the other day that just wanted to take a closer look, and he had mentioned that this is the first time he has seen red iron in downtown Brewton in his life. And I thought that was pretty interesting, that is a major construction project in downtown. And I to my knowledge, I can't remember just when one's been down there, but he just wanted to take a look at the red iron. I thought that was unique. Kind of recapping 2020, so to tell you a little bit about where we came from last year. It was the year of COVID, so we all understand the challenges everyone faced during that year. We did start the year last year at about 100 employees, and we ended up at about 120. So we were certainly proud of the fact when other companies were consolidating and looking for ways to reduce, we were actually able to grow a little bit through COVID. And that was not the growth pattern we were on going into COVID, but considering we were able to come out of it with even just a little bit of growth, we were certainly pleased with it. We actually took this pandemic as an opportunity. We thought that this would be a tremendous way for us to prove our worth to our clients and future clients. If we can find a way to rally and provide the services that we had committed to during a global pandemic, what other opportunities could that lead to down the road? And so to do that, we had to have the employee buy-in, and that's extremely tough. It wasn't easy to be able to work and get these folks at home but still build morale, have them focused on work when they're all concerned about their families like we were. So, it took a lot of work to get all of us on the same page and really looking for ways to create opportunities for us. And then as we adjusted to the virtual world, which we've all done. We actually revamped our training program in 2020. As you can imagine, IT changes dramatically from year to year. So we can't train today what we were training for, a year ago. So we took this as an opportunity to completely update and revamp our curriculum. We also created a partnership with Coastal Alabama Community College, which we're continuing to develop into this new year. So we're excited about this. Coastal Alabama actually agreed to accredit our training program. So if you come through our boot camp, you can get 6 to 9 college credit hours. And so we want to make sure we leverage that so that people are continuing their education. And we think we can create a pipeline coming out of our local high schools that you could come directly to work for us and you could begin your college education, and then through a series of scholarships, either at the college level, through our organization or others, we can find you ways to continue your education pathway. So we're excited about that program, and it continues to develop into this year. Community outreach, we started our partnership with the STEM program, and I won't go into much of that because I've asked somebody, Shauna Harris, to speak to you about that at the very end. But we are certainly excited about that. We think that that's a tremendously impactful program. A couple key hires were made towards the end of 2020. Laura Chevalier was named our president. Most of you remember Chuck Ruggiero. Chuck is still with the organization. Chuck just moved into the umbrella corporation of OPS, Optimi Professional Services, so he's the new CEO of that organization. And Laura stepped in as our president. She used to lead the sales team, but we are certainly excited. Laura is a dynamic individual. You follow her through several social media channels and see just how big a personality she's got, and we're excited to be under her leadership. Another key hire there, I brought in John Bates, but I also want to mention, Grace Ruzic. These two hires are key because I think it means a lot to this community for a couple different reasons. Grace, I will say I found out after the fact that Grace was hired, so I wish I could say I had something to do with that, but I did not. But it is exciting that we are providing opportunities for these young folks to come back into the community. That is a goal for our organization, is to be able to create those kinds of opportunities for those kids that want to come home to be able to come home, whether it's right out of college or whether it's some experience and then you want to move home. So we're certainly excited about that hire. John Bates is exciting for a different reason. John moved here from South Carolina. And so, again, that is exciting to be able to bring people into our community. But John, if you would come introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about you.
Mayor, Council, my name is John Bates. Will said I was recruited to come down here, but really Provalus really recruited me, because when I listened to what their message was and what they were trying to do, I had been on the other side of this. I had been with a Fortune 500 company for 20 years. I had done the outsourcing. I had set up help desk in Mexico City, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Bucharest, Romania. And when I had the opportunity to actually build the same thing here in rural America, that's what they've become. And now that I'm here, I feel like I do. I mean, I got Don and Teresa Lucas as my neighbors, and Jordan to tell me all about the history of Brewton. I've coached soccer at the Y. Looking forward to it again this year. David, I don't know if I'm going to do baseball. I'll have to see about that one. But I think the best part of the whole thing here is, for the 60 people or so that I have underneath me, is coaching them and watching them grow and seeing them have hope again. seeing them have a future and a career, a path that they can actually grow into. That's what makes it all worthwhile. And looking forward to getting more involved in the community here. I'm really hopeful we have a Blueberry Festival this year. I got the t-shirt last year, but I really want to go this year. So without that, I will hand it off back to Will.
That's good, thank you.
Thank you, John. Yeah, John timed that pretty poorly. He moved in March of last year, so that COVID got him. So he has not really even experienced Brewton, but he's excited to be here, and we're excited to have him in the community. So SOC 2 compliance is something we also completed in 2020. That probably doesn't mean a lot, but that is, again, about a 2-year audit process we go through for security purposes. And so, you know, it's a pretty extensive process, but that opens up a lot of doors for companies that require a certain level of cybersecurity or even just security. We've had to rewire all of our doors and certain things like that to provide security. And as y'all remember, working through the building plans and all of the secure doors we have to have, you know, these are the reasons, because IT gets pretty tricky when it comes to security. And then through all of that, in 2020, we did meet our year-end revenue goals, so we were very, very excited about that. Looking at some things coming up in 2021, you know, we are looking to, at this point, really capitalize on those opportunities we somewhat created for ourselves through that COVID space. What is happening is our clients really sat still during COVID. There was lots of concern about when the pandemic would end. There was a contentious election. You know, there was just a perfect storm of keeping these clients from really making moves. Well, what's happened is, you know, there's optimism in the market again now that the vaccine is rolling out. We got through the election, we survived just fine. Well, those clients, that pent-up demand is falling in our lap. So it's not necessarily how we, you know, usually operate. We like to recruit a certain number of folks in, train, get them into production. But right now, we're looking to have to recruit lots of numbers. So, you know, in the next 30 to 60 days, we may be on some real recruiting missions here as some of those opportunities start dropping. You know, minimum of 50 new hires, that's an absolute minimum. You know, we're looking for, you know, we have certain benchmarks we have to hit in employee levels, and, you know, that would be a minimum for 2021, and that's just here local. On the facility side, you know, we will complete that facility, and again, we would like to leverage that for Provalus and for the community. There's going to be tremendous marketing opportunities for both of us. Lots and lots of people will be coming to this community to see this facility. As a matter of fact, I met with the economic developers in Texas just a couple weeks ago, and they asked for an invite. They want to be here to see the groundbreaking of this building. So that's the kind of attention that we get. We want to continue to develop our community outreach, certainly expand our existing programs. We really want to develop deeper partnerships with our local schools. I think it's important, even at the elementary level, certainly at the high school level as kids are coming out into the workforce or college, but even at the elementary level where we can find ways we can begin to expand the minds of some of the youth and open up the IT world to them. On the employee side, 50% female, and I put that in bold because we already hit it. We got there this year, and that's a big deal for an IT company. Traditionally, IT, the female employee base is about 5% in the IT world. So for us to be 50% female is something we're extremely proud of, and we're able to achieve that this year. We want to continue to develop clear career progression. We certainly think that's important when our folks come on and to work for us, that they understand just what a career looks like, what it takes to follow that career and have accountability in our monthly one-on-one, so that we're making sure that they're progressing through that career. We want to formalize our apprenticeship program. We are going to start that this year, you know, and that'll be a state program we will utilize. So we'll kick that off, we hope, by the summer of this year. And we developed a scholarship program. We're going to award our first scholarships in March of this year. We're going through the application process, but those are internal scholarships that we are providing to employees, and we don't limit what they can do with those scholarships. So they can use them towards any sort of education they want. They can use them towards certifications in the IT space, or they can go outside if they desire. So we're just providing scholarships to encourage the continued education process. We want to continue to focus on our culture, and then we're in the race to 300 employees. That's across, this year, we will hit 300 employees. That's across 3 centers. And when we do hit that, we will institute a tenure-based pay increase across the board for all employees. So we've truly got buy-in to get to that point, because all these employees have a vested interest in that. And then we have tremendously aggressive sales and revenue goals. We want to get back on our employee growth curve that we were on, before COVID hit. Full transparency, just to kind of address a few challenges we're seeing out in the marketplace. Recruiting, this is about recruiting people into the organization and outreach and really getting out into the regional area. I don't think we're alone in facing workforce challenges. It's something we all face in a rural area and something we have to get unique and creative in addressing, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're working on programs right now to do just that, but it is a challenge, and certainly if we're going to continue to grow at the rate we're growing, it will always be a challenge. Space will be a challenge. That's hopefully temporary. Once the new building opens up, that becomes irrelevant. But for now, all 3 of those are playing into a space issue. We are in some growth and we need some space to grow into. COVID is certainly causing issues because we all know the distance requirement. So when you have to be 6 feet apart, it limits your ability to use what space you do have. And then we lost some space during construction because it sits in the middle of the construction site. So having to work around all 3 of those gives us some space issues. And high-speed internet, that is something that is certainly an issue. It is not for us. We are very pleased with internet in downtown, but this is an issue for our employees. And when you start thinking about COVID and having to get employees home when it first hit, and we wanted to get our folks out of our building and into their homes, well, 30% of them don't even have access to internet. And that number really goes up when you start talking about reliable internet that they can function at a high level that we would require, that our clients would require. That became a real issue. We were having to stick employees in every corner we could because they could not go home, because they could not do their job. So high-speed internet, I included that because I think that's an area we can all work together. This is a challenge for the rural area, and it's something that we're talking to Montgomery, we're talking to Washington about, and I think we can partner together to find ways to address that. So with that, I'm going to ask Shauna Harris to come up. Shauna has been a rock star for us. She was a community hire here. She came on and has just been leading the charge for us, but she took over this community outreach program. She got involved in STEM. She got her daughter involved in the program, and it has just become a passion of hers. So I asked her to come up and talk to you, a little bit about what we're doing with the STEM program.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Shauna Harris. I do have ties to the community. My mother grew up here and she went to school. She graduated T.R. Miller. And because of that, I have a lot of town pride. And I want to see Brewton go far. I want to see the kids in Brewton go far. That's one of the reasons why we're very passionate about the STEM program. What our goal is to expose the kids in the Brewton community, and hopefully eventually there'll be the surrounding counties, to learn about IT, to learn about the career options that they have that many of them are not aware of. And we do that through a partnership with Marcus Hall and Paul Monroe STEM program. We have events that are at the John L. Fisher Center, but we also do it virtually. Last year was tough because we planned for most of the events to be in person, so we worked around it and we found solutions, and we still was able to do things virtually. I think it's a great program that the kids of Brewton will definitely benefit from. Very passionate about it.
Thank you. Was it 2 programs ago we had the executive from Google?
Yes, it was.
So it's pretty neat. We were able to reach out to Google, and Google jumped on the idea of coming in and helping teach this one day. So we Zoomed Google in, and they actually taught part of the program. but they truly bought into the mission, and we're glad to be a part of it. Again, I just want to take a minute to say thank you for everything you've done for us. I hope that you can see we are certainly trying to get to a point where we're continuing to give back so that this truly works as a partnership. We are proud to be in Brewton. We sell Brewton across this world as we travel, and we are proud when we're able to bring people into Brewton, and we hope you're proud of what we're doing downtown and the opportunities that we hope it'll provide in that area. So any questions I can answer while we're here?
I'd just say, I appreciate you being here today and making this presentation, and how true it is, how hard they are trying to recruit new employees. They have a large demand for new employees. I was working with Provalus last week at Whiting Field, as they are recruiting hard to have more military people. But as you can see by their numbers, 80% local. So if you have somebody in mind, certainly refer them to Provalus. It would be very helpful at this time to them for the numbers that they are looking at. But I do appreciate your presentation today.
Yep, Provalus.com. You can find everything you need, even how to apply. So, thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Next item is to approve the accounts payable for January 2021.
Motion to approve accounts payable for January 2021.
Second.
I have a motion by Counselor Brown, a second by Counselor Barton to approve the accounts payable for January 2021. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Counselor Jennings?
Yes.
Counselor Broughton?
Yes.
Counselor Watson?
Yes.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
The motion passed and accounts payable for January 2021 is approved.
Next item is to approve annexation of real property at Lot 16, Ridgefield Subdivision, approximately 12.14 acres. That's an ordinance number 21-0208, and I call on Ray Manning.
Yes, Mayor, this is a piece of property out there that actually adjoins the middle school, the new middle school that was built out there probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And anyway, I think it'd be an advantage to us to go ahead and, we've been wanting to annex people in our community into the City of Brewton. And anyway, I'm just bringing this, to the council to be able to get this approved today.
Question for Ray?
Is this the whole subdivision or just, I'm reading lot 16?
It's just lot 16, it's not the whole subdivision.
If we were approving this today, would this be a 3-step?
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
Ray, is this a family that has requested this, or is this something that we've pursued?
No, this family is actually, I actually went to him and talked to him about it, and then he come back and asked to be, annexed in the city.
Immediate consideration.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah. You ready for a motion? I'm going to motion to introduce ordinance 21-0208.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Counselor Brown, a second by Counselor Jennings to introduce ordinance 21-0208. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Counselor Jennings?
Yes.
Counselor Broughton?
Yes.
Counselor Watson?
Yes.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
So we have introduced ordinance number 21-0208.
And now we need to
Immediately consider.
do what?
Immediate consideration.
Okay, I will do that. Ordinance number, immediate consideration of the ordinance 21-0208.
Second.
I have a motion by Counselor Brown, a second by Counselor Barton to immediately consider ordinance number 21-0208. Any discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Counselor Jennings?
Yes.
Counselor Broughton?
Yes.
Counselor Watson?
No.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
So we will introduce the ordinance at the next council meeting. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Next item is to approve demolition bid for RMCC Inc. for a home located at 118 Lynbrook Drive, Brewton, Resolution 21-0208-1. I call on Steve Uhouse.
Mayor and the council, as you'll recall, we addressed a property at 118 Lynbrook at a previous council meeting. Council had even determined that about this time, I forget the exact day, but probably today, tomorrow, this week, if there was no actual improvement or progress at that location, then we would go ahead and commence with the demolition of that property. I can give you a report that the property owner has paid nearly $1,000 in redemption money to acquire back that property, including the house, as personal possession. A large pile of debris in the backyard has been mostly cleaned. There is still a few pieces of garbage back there, but the yard has been cut and cleaned. Debris off the rooftop has been cleaned, but it's quite apparent that a new roof is still going to be needed. There was the indication that by this time the house would be pressure washed and painted. That has not been done, but in all fairness, due to weather, that has been quite difficult to achieve. So I give you that update and that report as to the status of that particular property. I would certainly defer to Councilor Brown about her wishes to proceed on with this, but it's the council that has voted to pursue it. I just give you a status report as an update on the property today, and we do have a demolition bid from 3 separate sources as to what it would cost to demolish, remove the debris, and then fill in with fill dirt so that it would not be a cave or a hole there to collect water.
I think we would like to give him till March 8th, and let's kick it down the road and then give him that opportunity to complete some of the projects that he has started.
I'm good with that, if the council is good with that.
All right, so we'll put it on the closest
We'll put it on
meeting
the
date.
next meeting in March, yes.
Thank you, Steve.
Next item is to approve demolition of the west wing of the Brewton Heights Shopping Center, resolution number 21-0208-3.
We gotta do 2 first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Approve a demolition bid for RMCC Inc. for a home located at 212 Eula Street, Brewton, Alabama, resolution number 21-0208-2.
Mayor, this house is located on the end of Eula Street on the right, at the very end. It has been requested several times from local residents that the house be demolished and removed, and we've gone through the necessary steps to give owner notification. There was opportunity and a time for them to request a meeting with me to discuss it, but they didn't. I did get a phone call last week, but the time had well elapsed from that. A title opinion has been drawn. It's all in the clear. It's a small structure that is definitely a nuisance in that community. We've received 3 bids for the demolition, removal, and also the replacement with fill dirt from 3 particular sources, and RMCC does have the low bid there. So I share that information with you for the council to do with as deems necessary.
Steve, how long time frame wise has this been going on?
I started the process sometime in October. It had been addressed by a previous employee, but I picked it up sometime in October and moved forward with it.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 21-0208-2.
Second.
Have a motion by Counselor Jennings, a second by Counselor Barton. Brown to...
Barton.
Barton. I did too, sorry. Let's try that again. I have a motion by Counselor Jennings, a second by Counselor Barton to approve Resolution 210208-2. Is there any discussion?
Yes, when will they get started?
We don't have an answer for that. I believe Ray tried to call. We didn't get a response, but I will definitely find out when we can start on that. Any further discussion? Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Counselor Jennings?
Yes.
Counselor Broughton?
Yes.
Counselor Watson?
Yes.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
Resolution number 210208-2 for the demolition of a home located at 212 Eula Street has been approved.
Now, the next item is to approve demolition of the west wing of the Brewton Heights Shopping Center, resolution number 21-0208-3. I think it'd be best to read that one out.
Okay.
Can you read that?
The whole, you want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah, I can't read it.
Whereas the City of Brewton considers the west wing of a certain building located at 1023 Douglas Avenue, Brewton, Alabama, to be dilapidated in need of demolition and clearance. And whereas the City of Brewton has completed all required procedures, and whereas the City of Brewton will request the owner of the property to facilitate the demolition of said property. And therefore be resolved by the City Council of Brewton and the mayor therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Brewton, Alabama, that the property located at 1023 Douglas Avenue, the west wing of the Brewton Heights Shopping Center, is hereby deemed dilapidated and ready for demolition. Adopted and approved this 8th day of February 2021.
So if the council chooses to pass this resolution, they would be requesting the owner of that property to demolish that west wing of that shopping center.
I'm going to motion to approve 210208-3.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Counselor Brown, a second by Counselor Jennings. Is there any discussion?
Got a question?
Yes.
Okay, now, I'm hearing this right, we're gonna notify the company they gotta demolish the building, correct? Now, my question is, are we gonna get bids off from the contractor?
They would have to. It'd be on their expense, not ours.
No, what I'm saying is, they're no different than doing the house on 212 Eula Street. We bid out how much it gonna cost, right?
We did
We'll decide
because
to see.
we're paying to tear down Eula Street. They're gonna pay to tear down the west wing of their buildings. It's a lot larger expense, and it's for them to cover it, not for us. We're on Eula Street, we're covering it.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Counselor Jennings?
Yes.
Counselor Broughton?
Yes.
Counselor Watson?
Yes.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
The resolution number 200208-3 for
Mayor, I
the
got a question for
demolition.
Steve before you leave. Can I ask a question to Steve?
Sure, go ahead.
Where are we on Sile Road and Granberry? Where we're on that house on the corner? She ever get back with you? The lady on the corner?
Is this the house that you wanted to grant an extension to? We probably only about halfway through the time of
Okay.
that approximately, but I have not noticed any
I have
improvements or
not either.
any changes to
Okay.
it, so thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution 210208-3 to approve the demolition of the west wing of Brewton Heights Shopping Center is approved.
Next item is to approve a bid award to Hammer Construction for renovation of the old Alabama Power Building, which will be our new utilities building. This cost will be split between the City of Brewton and the Water Board. That's resolution number 21-0208-4, and I call on Ray Madden.
Mayor and council, anyway, I'm bringing this here to y'all. We got some pictures to, kind of the blueprints of what we presented, in this bid. And we actually, we took Hammer to be the low bidder on this here. We throwed all the alternates out. And anyway, I'm coming before the council to ask the council to pay for half the building. The water board is going to pay for the other half for it to be renovated. And we look forward to getting in this building as soon as possible.
And you will have a drive-through on
That's
the
correct.
utilities for the...
Yes, ma'am. And we're looking at doing the kiosks as well. You know, that ain't part of this here, but we are looking to get the kiosks put in.
That's good. Motion to approve 210208-4.
Second.
I have a motion by Counselor Brown, a second by Counselor Barton, to approve resolution number 210208-4. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, you got your calculator, tell me what half will be for the city.
I think it's 152, Joe.
152 even?
Yeah.
If we go back, I can tell you.
If you don't mind, please.
It's either 152 or 159, so.
Be 159.
159,467 is what I come up with.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm wrong. That's 159.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Counselor Jennings?
Yes.
Counselor Broughton?
Yes.
Counselor Watson?
Yes.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
The resolution number 210208-4 to approve a bid award to Hammer Construction is approved.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Next item, the school board term of board member Ann Peach is coming up, and that is a council appointment, and I appoint Counselor Brown and Counselor Jennings to report back there, a nomination. No further business, the meeting is adjourned.